I'll bring up a story right here up on the screen. This comes from the Metro UK. The U.S. Navy secretly designed a super-fast, futuristic aircraft resembling a UFO, documents have revealed. This came out just not but under a week ago. The U.S. Navy has been granted a patent for an advanced aircraft which resembles a flying saucer UFO. That's what it says here, flying saucer UFO.
Okay.
Military inventors filed plans for a highly unusual flying machine which uses an internal mass reduction device to travel at extreme speeds. What that means is the aircraft uses complex technology to reduce its mass, and thereby lessen inertia, so it can be zoomed along at a high velocity. The patent is highly complex and describes methods of reducing the mass of an aircraft using various techniques, including the generations of gravity waves, which were first detected in 2016 after being produced when two black holes collided. You remember that, Joe? Remember when they detected the gravity waves on Earth here?
Nah, maybe. I don't know. Not really.
I remember it. Okay. Right. And here are some of the figures that are being displayed on screen. It looks like it's hard to discern. There's just a lot of squiggly lines and triangles, maybe even a rhomboid, a trapezoid. That's what's listed here, and there's a bunch of like markers and indicators pointing at squiggly lines. I guess that's part of the patent or the filed invention here.
That's how, yeah.
And according to this article, it goes on to say it is possible to reduce the internal mass and hence the gravitational mass of a system and or object in motion by abrupt perturbation of a non-linear background of local space-time, the patent says. The craft describes in the patent features of cavity wall filled with gas, which is then made to vibrate using powerful electromagnetic waves. This then creates a vacuum around the craft, allowing it to propel itself at high speeds. The UFO-style ship can be used in water, space, and even the atmosphere here on Earth. This is okay. Although the U.S. Navy applied for the patent in 2016, it was granted last year. It doesn't necessarily mean the craft has been built and tested. So here's the actual. This is a serious news story. Here's the actual patent, Joe, on screen. On screen, take a look at that.
That's a true story.
Remember, I'm on a little bit of delay, but it doesn't look like a saucer at all.
No, this is like a black triangle.
Yeah.
This is like a black triangle. The Navy filed this patent, and it was granted last year. So if they were probably experimenting with this. They got it to work, and they went ahead and filed a patent. Cool. And the rest of this article kind of goes on to that ATIP program from almost 2 years ago that the New York Times talked about. So it's kind of curious that this patent came out, was filed in 2016, it was granted last year or maybe in 2017, and then that New York Times article came out in 2017, and all this other stuff keeps coming out. And the rest of this article kind of speaks to that ATIP program. And is that, and it begs a question, is the footage that was filmed in that FLIR footage that everyone saw, is that an actual UFO, or is that a Navy experimental plane that they filed a patent on?
Yeah. Feel it. Could say it. Could see either one. And that's the thing, is it wasn't that sort of the idea that, weren't they poo-pooing UFO sightings, saying, oh, it's a military test?
It doesn't exist, folks.
That's what they tell it. I mean,
wasn't that like in the 90s, late 80s and 90s when UFO things were all the rage? They would say stuff like that.
They would. And so they're kind of leading us down almost like one path is like, oh, it's UFOs. We need to study them more. And then with stories like this, they're like, oh, no. See, the U.S. Navy filed a patent on this kind of technology. So what you're seeing in the sky is obviously U.S. military.
And you think about, if you go back as far as Roswell, it's like it's a weather balloon, and that's what the public would get easily. Not like military aircraft. Wait, you mean aliens! Like a propeller plane? No.
Oh, they come to Earth.
They're coming for some French fries.
They certainly are. They're headed over to Chick-fil-A, and then they're going to wind things down with a couple of Pringles.
Pringles.
But I do have another UFO related story, and then maybe we'll take some phone calls. This is another U.S. Navy article. Another article about the U.S. Navy and UFOs. The U.S. Navy drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs. The U.S. Navy is drafting new guidelines for pilots and other personnel to report encounters with unidentified aircraft, a significant new step in creating a formal process to collect and analyze the unexplained sightings and destigmatize them. The previously unreported move is in response to a series of sightings of unknown, highly advanced aircraft, including the Navy Strike Group and other sensitive military formations and facilities, the service says. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspaces in recent years, the Navy said in a statement in response to questions from Politico. For safety and security concerns, the Navy and the United States Air Force have taken steps have taken these reports very seriously and investigates each and every report. As a part of this effort, it added, the Navy is updating and formalizing the process by which reports of any suspected incursion can be made to cognizant authorities. A new message to the fleet that will detail the steps for reporting is in draft. Okay. This is just piles and piles on the news when it comes to the United States military, one branch or another, formally addressing the UFO phenomenon. They're acknowledging it. Mm-hmm. They're saying that they are putting together a new process and telling everyone, they're spreading the word, that if you see something, you say something now. I'm skeptical of this entire thing.
Really? You're not all in?
Well, I'm all in with that there are advanced vehicles. I'm all in with there's some sort of entities that would control them. But I'm skeptical. I guess I'm skeptical about how it's being framed.
Yeah. Well, that's that. We talk about it so much with the soft disclosure and all the Mirage Men and all the other stuff. It's just, yeah. You can't trust any of this stuff.
I want to see so in the bottom part of this article goes on to talk about the FLIR footage that was released and the ATIP program. So they're really pushing that. They're really pushing that ATIP program and all the technical studies that have been done. And it's insane. There's plenty of stuff here. Open up the phone line, 614-388-9109. We'll be mostly happy to take your phone calls.
No.
Okay, maybe not.
And that's the UFO stuff I got. I came across one article about the Navy addressing the UFO thing. Then I found another one. Turns out the Navy went ahead and filed a patent on a flying triangle that can reduce its internal mass. Isn't that exciting news to the scientific community? That they can reduce the internal mass of an object? That's pretty big news.
Yeah, I would think so.
That actual Navy scientists and physicists think it's possible, so much so they filed a patent on it. And meanwhile, what made the front page of Reddit is that they saw a black hole. It looked like a donut. Well, guess what? They can now reduce the mass of something.
Oh, my God.
No one cares.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, nobody wants to. Well, I think thered be a lot of people who are heavier who would like to reduce their mass. Maybe
yes.
Diet program.
Yes. It would my 600-pound life could be significantly reduced It wouldn't have to be a my 600-pound life. It could just be my 600-pound life, significant, like internal mass reduced to the size of a grapefruit or something like that. It's not a very catchy name.
No.
No. All right.